gentlemen, are you ready?
Hello，欢迎收看今天智慧机器人网的科技时间，我是主持人晴晴。我有时候回顾一下我当天的直播影片我都会发现我有时候好像都会做一些很奇怪的表情，是只有在那个就是我们的设备有点故障的时候，可能要前面没有播广告的时候，我想说，我是在准备，然后都没有人告诉我。好，那我来，刚刚有地震，大家有感觉到吗？好像3级是，不过好像还没有确定的报告出来。刚刚在楼下，就是我们办公室在地下室，所以就有一点摇晃。据说最近有说地震的次数好像偏少，就跟往年比的话好像偏少，所以可能会有强震嘛，就希望不要，因为我真的超害怕地震的，我觉得地震超可怕。那我们来看第一则新闻吧。最近东区出现了一间机器人牛肉面店，那这间牛肉面店叫什么呢？大家可以去搜寻一下，就叫爱罗吧，它是机器人的英文英翻中的一个店名。那它可以有无现金支付的方式去付这一碗牛肉面，像图片的机械手臂，它可以煮面，然后放菜，还有葱花，还有牛肉片进去，就是全部都是以机器人完成，一碗面就是啦，不会有人。那有人就我那时候看到留言就有人问到说，那清洁的部分呢？清洁的部分当然还是需要人力啦，这可能就要去真的要现场问一下开这间店的老板的初衷。但是在台湾已经有很多像是机械手臂的一些形式的店面已经开始了像是之前智慧机器人网也有去采访过的珍珠奶茶店、饮料店，也是用机械手臂做成一杯饮料的。然后还有像金站也有咖啡的机械手臂，像全家也有，所以其实现在很多地方都可以看到机械手臂的踪影。所以如果有对这一块有兴趣的，可以去尝鲜看看，说不定过个10年或几年，全部的店面会不会都变成是机器人在煮这些餐点呢？那这一碗机器人煮出来的面大约139元，好像跟一般牛肉面差不多价钱那它现在目前的口味就是有兰州牛肉面还有红烧口味，目前那之后可能就有更新的话，就要关注一下他们的粉丝团啦。然后像牛肉面餐厅也有附自动点餐机，像是现在摩斯还有麦当劳都有自动点餐机，可是我发现好像大家还不是很习惯在用自助点餐机这个机台，是还是比较多人会去临柜点餐。因为像我的话，会觉得人若很少的话，我就会去就是临柜点餐，不会自己去按，好像比较方便一点，因为我就知道我要吃什么，那直接用讲的好像比较快。不过很多人应该都会觉得点餐机好像年纪比较偏长的顾客，对，很多3C专业的，你刚好讲到我想讲的，像就是这一台牛肉面店里面的点餐机有说到，就是如果已经很高龄的长辈，他们也可以很轻松的就可以学会。其实我觉得应该是没有学不会的，只是可能要很有耐心的去教一下长辈们该怎么操作这个机台还有机器的步骤，所以应该 有机会的话可以去试看看，也蛮想知道机器人煮的会不会跟人煮的面有差别。你妈学了2年还用贴图，我妈也是因为有一天我就发现她怎么有我常用的贴图，然后我后来我就问她说，你怎么有这个？然后她就说我去买的，我就想说超傻眼，因为她原本都只下载免费的，免费就会直接跳出来，然后让他们下载嘛，就是她现在居然还会去买那个贴图，我以为长辈都会觉得买贴图是很浪费钱的一件事，结果我就跟我姐说，就是蛮搞笑的吧。好，那我们就来看一下这间机器人牛肉面店的相关影片吧。看完这影片真的还蛮想吃的不过我看到网友有留言就说，这样会不会少了一点人情味？我自己的感觉就是有2种就毕竟现在也不是每间店都是机器人在做的啊，所以就尝鲜一下也无妨吧。而且价钱也跟一般的店面差不多，也没有特别贵，或者是139元，我觉得还可以，蛮可以接受的啦。好，那下一则新闻，大家看的很酷吧？应该在前几个月就有，就是这个装备，然后的影片可以飞上天的那个影片有流传的，大家有那个看过吗？他是一位英国的发明家，他发明的真人版钢铁人套装，然后近期他也获得专利了，它时速可以高达55英里，然后让人家这样直接是飞上去的那一种状态。那时候我看到影片，我还以为是后置的，没想到真的有这个套装，蛮厉害的，而且真的很像，因为我自己本身超爱钢铁人，我觉得英雄里面最帅的就是钢铁人，所以这个让我看了很多遍，就会很好奇他是什么想法，然后花了多久的时间去做这个套装的。那他也被称为就是真人版钢铁人。那我们来看一下影片吧。
All right, so why don't you walk us through the suit and just how does it actually work?
Right, so fundamentally now with the latest setup we've got, it's 5 jet engines, little gas turbines. You've got 2 on each arm,
Yep.
and then you've got 1 round the back. And between those clusters of thrust, that's what creates that kind of tripod or pyramid of thrust. And the control is all down to really vectoring with your arms. Where do you point them? You point them down, you go up, point them out, and then you go down again, right?
Yeah.
The fuel bladders in here, they're basically like rubberized bags, so you try and minimize the air inside them. And then round the front, you've got this kind of waistcoat of electronics. Inside the helmet, there's a head-up display system, which takes a wireless data feed from this box. So I can see my fuel burn and flight time and engine status. So that's quite a neat system. So yeah, no, it's pretty simple, and I mean this is actually quite an old model now. We've now got a version which is almost entirely 3D printed, and believe it or not, in polymer.
Speaking of versions, what iteration is this, and what's your iteration right now?
This is probably prototype 25 of just this pair of arm assemblies. So
Wow.
hard to say really.
When you get to iteration 42, I have something for you.
Oh, 42, right. What's this? Oh, you're kidding. What's?
So this is a full metal Iron Man helmet.
You're kidding. That's very cool. Oh, that's insane. Oh, no way. You're kidding. That's so cool.
Perfect. It's got a magnet ring.
That is so cool.
Tap it again.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So
cool. Oh, it's quite weird having somebody do that to your face. Yeah, that's so cool.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
我觉得飞起来真的很帅耶，因为我真的超爱看钢铁人，我最爱看的英雄片就是钢铁人，如果他一出我就会去看那种。期待下次做制作人喷射器，制作人喷射器会不会造成环境污染啊？那感觉要够硬才可以粘在墙壁上，然后撑住这个整个人，这样好吗？好，不管下一个新闻很跳动，就是相亲必备神器。哎，你们像我这年纪好像还没有相亲过哎，不过可以看很多像我就很爱看韩剧或者是偶尔看一下日剧，就常常会出现什么就是相亲的剧情啊。那当然偶像剧里面可能就不会演出很尴尬的场面了，但如果是我其实有想过说，如果我去相亲的话，我会不会觉得很尴尬？我应该会蛮尴尬的，其实，因为就是直接见面你就知道这个人的目的是什么，你就是要跟这个人进一步认识，然后交往，然后是有目的的，好像有点小尴尬。我不知道你比较年长的人会不会觉得很尴尬，但如果以我现在的想法去想的话，我会觉得有点尴尬，我还是比较喜欢那种顺其自然认识的对象的那种感觉。所以日本文化比起来又比我们就是更害羞啊。讲到这个，就是我上次去大阪玩的时候，我就在一间，因为他们的餐厅里面都很安静，不知道为什么，就是可能是一种礼貌吧，就是他们日本的文化就很安静。然后我们就是一群朋友就进去吃饭，然后我就看到后面就是有一对情侣，我不知道是情侣还是刚认识，就不知道他们的状态。可是他们讲话真的超级小声，小声到你可能整场就安静，你也是听不到，好像就是他们都开口讲话就是这样，然后好像在演默剧的感觉。然后你就会想说，他们是很熟吗？还是这可能要就是很了解日本文化的人才可以来解读，是不是？有没有？他在讲海豚会怎样？就是发出那个声波吗？反正那时候我就想说，好像蛮特别的，因为像台湾人就不会这样吧，有可能有人会这样。像你感觉不出对方情绪，你说透过相亲机器人吗？这你就错了，因为这台相机机器人就是它会先。就是每人就看男生就有看到图片，这个就是男生一台，然后女生一台。那你可能就要在里面先输入一些你自己的可能家庭背景，然后学历啊、经历学经历一些的那种基本资料，还有你的兴趣。所以就是双方输入完大约有45题啦，就是45个应对的答题这样。那如果跟你配对到了这一个男生或女生，然后他的兴趣跟你一样，就是可能有一样的部分的话，机器人就会帮你回答说， 我也是我也是这样然后就会觉得还蛮有趣的，你知道，毕竟尴尬的时候就会想要有一个还蛮可爱然后蛮有趣的东西给化解这个安静就是很宁静的气氛，好吗？搞到最后机器人直接结婚，你是说这两只机器人吗？还是人跟机器人？你是说哪一个？那这一个相机机器人其实也就是在日本关东地区就有邀请了大约28位男女，分别在25至39岁之间。那一共有4对情侣就是透过机器人配对成功，它成功率大约28.5%，28.5%算高吗？还是还好？28.5%算一般吧，对。机器人，然后相亲的人都变伴娘伴郎，太怪了吧？那机器人那么小只，很怪人家在参加什么仪式好啦，那我们就来看一下这个相亲机器人的影片啦。
的期间，我就是你的旅游伙伴啦！现在开始，跟我一起踏上快乐的旅程吧！你怎么了呀？在这附近好像有自由交叉路口啊！虽然有很多人在一起走路，但是却不会相互撞到，好厉害啊！
We're in Shinagawa now. It's one of the principal transportation hubs of Tokyo. We're in Asakusa now. It's one of the most famous sightseeing spots in Japan.
Take a picture.
Okay.
拍照，3、2、1。
播放幻灯片。
好，看完影片，可能发现它跟相亲机器人好像没什么关系，可是可以发现它可以做很多的功用，像是它可以指引一个指引方向的机器人，还有在家庭里面也是一个家庭陪伴型服务型的机器人，它的用途其实还蛮多的，所以如果用在相亲的话，就也可以帮助到不少人啦。然后那下一个新闻，日本对于机器人真的是非常有研究。这一家餐厅40年前就有钢铁服务生了，他们店家也说啊，就是他们一开始只是采用机器人当做他们摊板的服务生，没想到就在网络上流传这段影片之后，就引发了就是不管年轻人或者是长辈都很喜欢这个机器人服务生，所以就想要说，那我们去朝圣一下，就跟现在的文化一样，就可能网络新闻出了哪一个景点，或者是比较有趣，或者是哪一个东西，之前没有看过，或者是拍起来照片拍起来很漂亮的，他们就会想去朝圣嘛。那40年前就有了，所以就表示日本对于机器人好像真的是就是这个还蛮爱机器人这个文化的哦。像台湾的话，好像就是近期比较多啦。日本，我那时候去日本，真的到处都可以看见，可能钢弹啊，或者是他们一些比较有趣的机器人，这就看起来蛮多的。然后路上就可以看到 paper 啊，一堆的，可是，在台湾就好像比较少见，所以一旦那个店家里面出现的机械手臂或者是一台 paper， 就会造成那个很大的风潮。我觉得应该日本看到会不会想说，这不就他们路上都可以见到的吗？不知道会不会有这种想法。好，那我们来看一下这个钢铁服务生的影片。 有看到刚刚那个钢铁服务生就说他很像《星际大战》里面的其中一个角色，那有可能他也随着时代的跟进就一直在变化，也说不定啊。可以，如果有看过他前一代，或者是他一直都知道他长这样的人，也可以跟我们分享，好吗？好，那下一则新闻，爱尔兰工程师打造魔鬼教师机器人，他只要是在电吉他的时候一弹错，这个旁边这个机器人就会拿那电极会电它，这感觉很痛我就被电到那种静电，你就会有点麻麻的，然后痛痛的，他居然直接电，这真的蛮强，完全是斯巴达教育的魔鬼教师机器人。可是这应该不能让小孩用吧？应该就只是你如果想要一些比较严厉的，就是自律的一个部分的话，就可以使用这台自己做一台。那这台机器人是它会辨识麦克风，还有一些程式语言中会加入高速傅立叶变换播放的频率，然后那个频率就跟音阶有特定的，就是它的那个音乐频率会跟里面设定的是一样的，然后会传递到 Arduino， 就会有，如果你音符跟你设定进去的音乐不一样的话，那它就会知道，你弹错了，然后它就会电你，就是给你一些惩罚啦，好吧？好，那我们来看一下这一个爱尔达工程师制作的这个魔鬼教师机器人。
Have you tried just being better? Maybe you're not really cut out for this. Has anyone ever told you you were a good guitarist? Well, they lied.
好自虐，我也觉得蛮自虐的可是如果你真的很想要达成一件事情，然后又没有人可以帮你有规律的，就是控制自己的话，就是只有自律啊。那这个应该是还蛮不错的方法，我觉得。不然如果你没有一个比较有威胁感的东西，那人就会很容易怠惰啊，为什么？就没有人在管你的话，你就会很容易就怠惰掉，可能就是弹一弹，然后就睡着了，或者是我弹错了没关系，就觉得就是一直放过自己的感觉。然后下一个新闻，你们有包裹被偷的经验吗？像前 NASA 工程师他就自制一个包裹炸弹，因为他6个月前他的包裹被偷了，所以他就还蛮生气的，所以他就制作了这个包裹炸弹。那包裹炸弹里面有什么特别的呢？可以看一下这看起来还蛮正常的吧，就是一个正方形的包裹，就是里面有定制的电路板，然后它可以控制整个装置。如果发现包裹有摇动的时候，它就会通知，就透过 GPS 侦测，然后确认是不是被偷走了之后，它就会唤醒手机开始就录影，然后发送讯息给这个包裹的主人。那如果这一个偷包裹的人呢，他打开包裹的时候，这整个就会爆炸，因为里面加了亮片，还有一些就是这个工程师加入了一些好像有屁味啦，听说他说有间接性的屁味攻击，所以如果一打开的那个小偷可能就会受不了，就被喷的到处都是之外，还要忍受这个很臭的味道。然后可是我有点想不到为什么要偷别人的包裹真的有人会不过我觉得是不是外国跟我们就国外跟台湾比较不一样，因为台湾就一定要把包裹送到那个收件人的手上才会，或者是要签收才会走。那真的会直接把包裹放在家门口，是国外比较常这样子，因为我没有在国外就是订过包裹还有生活过，所以可能比较不知道是不是就是台湾跟国外的差别在这边。好，我觉得好像有点那个扫香，蛮漂亮的。可是你被喷的到处都是，就觉得就是以后不敢再偷了。可是像我的话，我就不会随便乱拿别人的包裹因为还蛮奇怪的吧，你又不知道里面装什么。 好，那因为这一个影片呢的长度比较长，那我们就也在这边跟大家做一个结尾。那今天下午5点的话，也是一样会播直播，也是6则新闻。然后明天的形式就跟今天比较不同啊，明天是下午4点半会直接播1个小时，那前30分钟也是科技的新闻时间，那后面的30分钟就是跟讨论议题比较有关系。那讨论议题的题目还有一些新闻的预告，就麻烦看我们的智慧机器人网的预告小编预告啦。好，那我们就在这边跟大家说我们下午见。那先不要走，因为还有这一段是还蛮就是看这些窃贼怎么被惩罚的影片。好，那大家下午见咯，拜拜。
This guy took a package from my porch, and now he's about to open it in his car, but what he doesn't know is this is a custom-built bait package that is recording him on 4 different cameras, and it's about to unleash a pound of the world's finest glitter, along with some other surprises. But to understand how he got to this point, first, we need to rewind a bit. About 7 months ago, I noticed a package being reported as delivered, but it never arrived, so when I checked our security cameras, I noticed this lovely couple out for a stroll. As you can see, they have backpacks on, and they're just going around the neighborhood making an afternoon out of this. And if you've ever been in a situation like this, you just sort of feel violated. And then I took this to the police, and even with the video evidence, they said it's just not worth their time to look into. So then you also feel powerless. And I just felt like something needs to be done to take a stand against dishonest punks like this. And then I was like, hold up. I built a dartboard that moves to get a bullseye every time. I spent 9 years designing hardware that's currently roving around on another freaking planet. If anyone was going to make a revenge bait package and over-engineer the crap out of it, it was going to be me. So I started with a sketch and some CAD, and then I hit up my buddy Sean, who is really good with this type of small electronic stuff, and we got to work. Ultimately, when they opened the package, I just wanted to celebrate their choice of profession with a cloud of glitter. Because, I mean, who doesn't love glitter? That's easy. I could just do that passively with like a spring when it opens. But I also wanted to record their reaction, and that's what makes the engineering here an order of magnitude more difficult. Because if you think about it, this thing has to sit on a porch all day and it can't be plugged in. And you have no idea when someone will come and pick this up. So it's not like you could just hit record on the camera and then put it in the box, because you're gonna run out of battery and storage space. On top of that, I need some way to recover this footage in case I never get the bait package back. So after 6 months and lots of design iterations and so much testing, here's where we landed. This custom printed circuit board is the brains of the operation. It has a built-in accelerometer, and when it's jostled, it will check the GPS signal to see if it's been moved from the porch, and if so, it sends a signal to all the phones to wake up and start recording. And I'm using 4 phones that have a wide-angle filming mode and are angled back. And this 3D printed portion is contoured this way because it represents the field of view of the phones. So as you can see, I'm guaranteed to capture their reaction no matter which way they open it from. And nestled in here, we've got a can of fart spray. No joke, you can clear a room with 1 spray of this stuff. So we made a cam on a small motor that sprays it 5 times. And not only is this just a nice touch, but we keep repeating 5 sprays every 30 seconds until they throw the package out of their car or house before they realize there's 4 phones inside. This increases our chances of finding it because we always know the package location at all times due to the GPS on the phones. But even if we don't recover it, all 4 phones have LTE data plans, so they upload the footage to the cloud so I can still see what happened. And then for the pièce de résistance, we have a cup here on top that spins from a motor underneath. So once you load in a butt ton of the world's finest glitter, the motor spins really fast and the centrifugal force fires it evenly in all directions. Then we cut holes in the side of the lid and covered them with one-way film so 2 of the cameras could see them as they walked away. And then finally, to make it look like an actual delivered package, we added some shrink wrap and a delivery label, which is perhaps my favorite part of the whole thing. Because if the thief wasn't in such a hurry, they'd see that the package is actually coming from my childhood hero and inspiration for this project, Kevin McAllister. I even looked up and am using the address of the actual house they filmed the movie in. And of course, it's being shipped to his boys, Harry and Marv. And there's a charge port in the bottom, because if it doesn't get stolen in a given day, I can bring it in and then recharge all the batteries in the system overnight. So the idea is the bad guy comes and takes it off your porch, then lifts the lid, and these two limit switches tell the circuit board brain inside that the lid's been removed, and then that sets everything in motion. And I may be biased, but sometimes a well-engineered design is beautiful. And because the phones have GPS, we created a virtual geofence around my house, so I get a notification when the package has been moved off the property. So I put it out on the porch, and now all that was left to do was wait. Okay, so I was at work and I got a notification that the geofence we set up had been tripped. So then I checked the cameras and sure enough, the package is gone. So I checked the GPS and sort of tracked it, and it appears they're in a car because they seem to leave my house pretty quickly, but it seems to have stopped in a parking garage, which is where I'm headed to now. And if you're new here, this isn't a prank channel, so I am completely out of my comfort zone. And there she is. Oh. See some glitter. This is like recovering the black box of a crashed airplane. It would still work even if I didn't get the box back. The footage would upload to the cloud, but it's just faster to plug the phones in. So I'm gonna go home and find out how this somehow ended up here. So it appears he was walking down the sidewalk and then suddenly makes a hard left. Then he takes the package and gets in his car and eventually makes it to this parking garage where this glorious sequence unfolds.
No way! Look at that, dude. Look at my car, dude. Everything. Oh my god. Dude, I don't know what this is. Literally, like, everywhere. What the f? Come on. Bro, lift this up. That's Leo, nigga. Open the door. Get that shit out of here, bro. You shouldn't even have grabbed that shit. What the f? Get this shit out of here. What do you want me to do? You shit on yourself. Take this shit up out of here. For real. Woo! Take that. All back.
Keep that change, you filthy animal.
So the moral of the story is, just don't take other people's stuff. Not only is it not cool, but on the plus side, you'll never find yourself in this situation. Or perhaps even worse, this one.
Gonna get in here like, who you had in here?